And we are here. Hey, y'all. Welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy, James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Maybe it'll happen in this video. I don't know. We'll see. Joining me as always is my special guest who is on location right now. She ain't in front of her computer, but that's okay. We love her anyways. And I appreciate the dedication. Mrs. Best, say what's up to the people.
Hello, people. Subscribe to James's channel. You already know.
Yes. Yes, subscribe. Belle Collective got 185 views, y'all. And I know 185 of y'all are not subscribed to my channel. So don't be a stranger. You know you like what you hear and you like what you're seeing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you don't want to watch, stay subscribed and just ignore me. That's all. But for those who are subscribed to me and follow my content, catch the playback, join us live, we appreciate you. We do. We really appreciate you guys tuning in because we have a lot of fun, especially when y'all, what is the word I'm looking for? When you guys are active in the chat. That's what the term is, but there's another term I want to use. We all active in the chat. We enjoy reading your comments and we laugh and have fun with y'all. So, y'all, this is Belle Collective Season 3 Reunion Part 3. I am so glad this show is over because it has been such such foolishness. It really has such foolishness. I can't even begin to describe how draining this season was on top of this draining ass reunion. But this is where we are. We are here. So, without further ado, let's get started. So we pick up where we left off last week, which is with Josh and Latrice running to the back. Josh is crying and saying, I tried to apologize to Cliff off camera. So the fact that he wanted to apologize on camera just came off as really, really fake to me. And, we need to have the conversation. And Latrice agrees, yes, it is petty, but at the end of the day, we'll have a conversation off camera. And I felt like Latrice just said that to shut him up. I really don't feel like they're going to have a conversation off camera. I don't think Cliff even cares like that. So, I mean, not Cliff. Cliff. Cliff even cares like that. So why? I feel like it was pointless to bring him out here. I was watching Ladies First panel. Shout out to Bondi Blue, Niecy Dixon, and Jamie That's Me. And they were talking about how they didn't like how Carlos was gesturing Josh on the reunion to come up to Cliff and try to work this thing out. They felt like that was overstepping. And at first, I didn't see it that way at first. But then when I really think about it, and I think I alluded to that last week, Carlos was gesturing him to submit to Cliff. And I didn't like that at all. So for me watching this, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're talking about. And now that I've rewatched the reunion part 2, I now see what they're saying. So how did you feel about that scene with Cliff and Latrice Mrs. Best?
I feel the same as I did last week. I'm gonna stand by it. Unless people have been married, they don't understand the boundaries that Josh is crossing. It's like, okay, I get it. You get close with people. My husband's become friends with some of my friends, but Josh is doing too much and needs to stop being such a fucking crybaby, in my opinion. I know people don't like that, but it's like, okay, at some point you have to say to yourself as an adult, Latrice was my friend first. That's who I value. Why am I crying like a big ass baby over her husband? That man don't have to like you, just like Josh don't have to like him. And I do agree with what that panel said. I thought that last week as well. Carlos asking the question, I understand why he asked about it because he's hosting a reunion and he has to ask what was interesting. And that was one of the few things on this season that was interesting. But at the same time, if you see that this person is noticeably upset, reserved, which Josh was all of these things, then leave it the fuck alone. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with the situation. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You have to expect when you make a problem with your friend's husband, regardless of what they're doing, if your friend stays with their spouse, they may not want to be as close with you no more. That's what happens when people get into it. And it doesn't matter if it's this situation or just two friends without husbands. Sometimes when you have arguments, that rift and that discomfort and that weird feeling will be permanent because it's just not the same. And that's okay. I just want him to stop fucking crying about it and to contour before he puts on foundation. That's it.
Well, and here we have it, y'all. So that will end the Josh, Cliff, and Latrice segment of whatever that was to begin with. So now we move on to not Cliff, to Glenn and Latrice, or Letitia. Child, these Ishas and Ishas and everything like that. Lord have mercy, y'all gonna kill me with these names. So Letitia and Glenn are here. They're celebrating 20 years of marriage. We saw that on IG, which furthermore confirms that I don't feel like they ever did break up in the first place. I feel like they was just bullshitting on this show. Like I feel like all of their storyline is bullshit. But they are celebrating 20 years. Glenn has actually reproposed to Letitia with a brand new ring. And they also plan to do a vow renewal, which we know they're going to wait for the show to kick back on so that way they can air it. We already know this is what's going to happen. This is so, you know, this is like reality TV, like seminar. We already know how this is going to happen. So the conversation comes up about Gucci and JJ's party, and the stripper comes up about how that was portrayed back to Glenn via Cliff. Now, I missed it. Apparently, they did air it. I didn't see this part of the whole episode, but apparently, Cliff was pressing Letitia about the stripper, talking about the man's, genitalia parts, and he's, I don't think it's that big. Why don't you go tug on it? Now, mind you, Cliff called Glenn with the BS and Letitia's doing this, and that, which Letitia said. It did take us back, like that whole situation. So I'm trying to figure out, even though Glenn is saying that Cliff is such a stand up man, how we fall short on that part. Like I'm trying to figure that out because that's a lot to tell a married woman, to go tug on another man's parts, and you a straight man yourself. I'm confused, even though I think I know what I'm looking at. How did you feel about that thing, Mrs. Best?
Um, I said it when we did the recap of that episode. I was like, he is staring at that man's eggplant emoji. He is staring at it. He's staring at it. Listen, I like dick and I don't stare at it that much, okay? So, in my opinion, I don't know how to say it without. I think that part of the reason Cliff acts so chauvinistic and old school is because there's probably parts of him that likes things that are part of the new school, if you get what I'm saying. I've always thought that usually guys that are like super like, oh, that's not what a man's supposed to do. I don't want my wife doing this. Usually when men do that and have to speak about, which I don't even view being a man, just, being an adult, it's because they're trying to keep us from seeing certain things. Um, I don't know. I still feel it was strange for JJ to do that, to give his hi Joseph, to give his I don't understand or know a single man that's straight that would do what JJ did for Soguchi and her friends and be there. Does that make sense? Like I
No,
don't.
absolutely. And for me, and I said that in that video too. I was like, and once again, shout out to Joseph Felton who is joining us. This one definitely likes to act up in my comments bar, and I encourage it the whole way through. Don't be shy. Say what's on your mind, because usually we agree on the same things, Joseph. But it's good to see you tonight. But I said that as well. I said it was weird for JJ to have that at a party, but it was even more strange to see Cliff asking Letitia to tug at that man's stuff. Like it was really, I didn't know how I missed that part, unless they didn't show it.
It didn't show it.
Okay, I didn't think so. That's why I was like, wait, why is everybody knowing about this and I'm not?
But my thing is, why would you show that at the reunion and not in the episode? This is why
Yeah,
own network, well, specifically Carlos King, his shows that he's doing by himself. This is why they feel low budget and cheap. Show us that shit in the episode, then we can discuss it further at the reunion. Because, in my opinion, this whole part of the reunion, part three, was dry. And it wouldn't have been if the stuff that we saw in this reunion was showed on the show.
exactly my point. I'm like, that would have been Well, first of all, I really feel like the reason why that was not aired was because of the whole, I feel like this about Carlos King, and this is all alleged. I'm not saying he does this for real, but I feel like there is like this underlying loyalty he carries to straight men, i.e., Martell Holt, because we still ain't heard about that jail situation. Nobody has even come forward to say anything about that. But it's just his energy towards straight men is so weird to me. Like every time I look at him, because I just got through watching Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion, and I just was looking at how Carlos be gesturing towards Martell, and it was like, see, yeah,
Oh
there's
yeah,
something.
reunion. I've noticed that about Carlos. What I will say, as a straight person, it seems like when we see gay men that are either on TV or have notoriety, whatever the hell you want to call it, or even in day-to-day life, they either act as if the whole world and every straight man has a plight against them because of their sexuality, or they do what Carlos King does and kind of ass kissing and brown nosing when it comes to straight men. And I
Hmm.
often see a happy medium. I see it, but not often. So I don't know. Psychology says as much as the community don't want to hear it, that's something that has to be discussed and talked through in therapy and figured out, because this is not about what's right, what's wrong, who can get married and who can't. When you are different from the greater population of the planet, that's going to impact you psychologically. So, they don't want to hear it, but
Hmm.
truth. I think that might be what's happening with Carlos King. I also think it could be because he's on camera. I don't know. I want somebody else to be hosting these reunions though.
I'm trying to tell you, I miss Egypt so much because when I tell you Egypt used to get down, especially when she did Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, she was so amazing. And y'all just not, for anybody who's new to my channel, I love Egypt Sherrard. If y'all don't know who she is, she has a channel with her husband on HGTV. She does amazing work there. She used to host the reunions on Carlos's shows. I know she did Love and Marriage Huntsville. I believe she did a season of Belle Collective. I believe. I could be wrong. But she was amazing. It was
Yeah,
what?
she did the first season of Belle Collective's reunion.
Okay. Okay, I thought so. So yeah, she was amazing. So if we can get Egypt back, I will be down for the. I would never complain about another reunion of one of Carlos King Productions. So we then move on to JJ and Gucci and this whole Selena incident. Now we know that Selena could not be at the reunion because at this current moment, I believe that's still ongoing. Because I don't think I read anywhere that Gucci dropped the charges yet. But we know that so Gucci has pressed charges against Selena um, for battery. So for me, I'm gonna say this because I was conflicted with this at first, and then I felt like no, Gucci was definitely tripping. Now I'm conflicted with it again because now Tamper has come out and said that when the altercation was happening, she was shocked at Selena um, by the comments that Selena was saying, and she said that, and not verbatim, but she pretty much was alluding that Selena was the aggressor at first, and then it then turned into Gucci responding, and that's how the altercation started. I didn't see it that way.
Tambra
And,
is probably just agreeing. This cast, that's why I don't like this cast, and certain people need to fucking go. You can tell that they rehearsed and discussed certain stuff. Anybody with eyes can fucking see that. So Gucci came in that place with an attitude, and the moment you have an attitude and you already know that you guys have tension between you, come on now. And then her daughter was there as well. Everybody saw what they saw. I don't like how the Bells, if someone's friends with someone, they're not gonna hold their friend accountable. I don't like that. Hold each other accountable. So Gucci was fucking wrong with her fucking goddamn nasty sunglasses she threw off her head because she was ready to fight. Why you throw off your sunglasses if you don't want to fight, so Gucci?
that's where I'm conflicted. Because to me, I felt like you could have just let them words roll off her tongue and just kept on going. But the fact that the matter, you turned around because whatever she said definitely triggered you.
Y'all
Because
argue
I,
all the time on this show too. Y'all get into it all the time. Any
right.
talk shit and all of that. It doesn't get physical. You can have an argument and a disagreement with somebody while keeping your hands and body gestures and all of that to yourself. So Gucci's full of shit. We know she just a ratchet hoe from Mississippi who came up. Now to her, she's on TV. We know exactly what it is, and there's ratchet hoes everywhere. There's some. I'm in Richmond right now. I've seen a few walk by. Shit, but I'm just saying, like, so Gucci. What I did like about this reunion, I know you're gonna get to it. A lot came out about her that shows, like, okay, pretty much your husband, his children, and his ex-wife have fame and popularity. No one can seem to say what you do back you up. Her own kids ain't backing her up. So I don't know what the hell she. I think
Yeah,
she's jealous and looking for.
I think that I think it plays into a lot of different things. Like we could assess this all day long and probably not be 100% correct, but based on what we see. But since we are there, we'll go ahead and bring up the daughters. Two out of the three were there. The two that were most active, that was Sky and Sanjay, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the third baby's name?
Star.
Y'all couldn't have thought of nothing. Let me shut up. Um, moving. Let me shut up because that ain't even relevant. But Sanjay and Sky are there, and I'm not gonna go through everything because I felt like,
Most of that stuff was personal, but
yeah,
just like from what you saw, it's very clear that the only problem in this is So Gucci.
right.
The
I
only
think there's
problem.
a, I think there's truth on both sides. I do. I feel like they both were speaking on truth because some of the questions that were asked, like from the first question was, what do they feel is the reason why they can't move on from this situation? They point at So Gucci and both Sky and Sanjay, and I was like, okay, so hold on, Joseph I'm probably about to make my point. Carlos wasn't asking the right questions. If I was a host, the first question I would have asked was Gucci, why do you feel the need to ask JJ if he's still in love with Selena?
Thank you.
Yes, and I think that that's where I was going with that too, because it felt like 'cause she did ask because one, she wanted to know, do you still love her? Because the whole fight was about her saying, Selena saying, you always be second to me, which triggered her. And I think that's what people, because everybody is split down the middle 50-50. Some people are on Selena's side, some people are on the So Gucci side. I'm in that middle section where I feel like there is some truth to Selena still having a place in JJ's heart. But on the flip side, I feel like there is some jealousy that Selena is now in another place where JJ has landed himself on another reality show and
I,
she's not showing up as
I feel like people are siding with So Gucci or Selena based on their television preferences. If you like
right.
Bring It, there was another show Selena did too. But pretty much, if you like Bring It, you're probably going to be siding with Selena and the girls. If you like Belle Collective, you're probably going to side with So Gucci. If you base and side with people based on what we saw on the show, just what happened, right is right, wrong is wrong. Words don't warrant, physical actions. But then everybody has to look at what Joseph commented on. That's why that was an important question that should have been asked. Because when that question was asked, you have filed your paperwork and your charges and all of that. So it's like, one, why did you marry someone if you don't know if they're still in love with their ex? That's one. I would never. And then two, why would you feel the need to bring this woman up on TV to ask, are you still in love with Selena? I feel like if she asks that and it's not genuine, you're still trying to use this woman who you're so upset at for a storyline because you're not fully relevant. So no matter how it's looked at, it just seems like So Gucci is wrong and or the problem. But it's weird to me. I think people have to understand, and it's weird that So Gucci doesn't get it because she's a mom. When you get with someone who has a child, doesn't matter if they're with the person or not, you're always going to come fucking second and then third, because especially if the children are underage, like, you're going to come second then third. And it seems like So Gucci might have resentment for the fact that when she got with JJ, the girls were little, and so she probably didn't get the center of attention. It seems like that's all she wants. The whole situation to me is dumb, and I wish this family would like go
Well,
to.
see, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up as well because they did talk about that how she, hold on. I hope Selena is getting outside checks from the show the way they kept name dropping her.
Right.
I agree. But one of the things that I'm conflicted with, and the reason why I say this is because, they pretty much allude to that she really was not an active person in their lives when they were growing up. Now, the reason why I'm conflicted is because I can remember, I think it was season 2, when Soguchi's daughter came on the show. She felt like she was completely slighted and put to the back burner for JJ's girls. Now, let's play devil's advocate for a minute here because I kind of felt like there was definitely some truth to that, no matter how they slighted, but I don't think it was for the intentions that she cared. I felt like, for me, and this is my opinion, this is alleged, I'm not saying one way or the other. But what my opinion is, I felt like she did that to try to get in better with JJ and to become his wife and to do all those things. I know I have to take care of these girls in order to get this man because that's what she gives me. Like, if you ever met a woman who would kind of go out of her way to make herself look presentable and make herself look great just to know that she can land this man, because if you see her acting great with
So
these kids.
gives me Bleach vibes. I feel like the way she was to her own daughter, I feel like she'll be that way just in general with children and other kids. If you lack empathy for your own child, how the fuck you gonna be there and so caring and so loving towards their
When there's an ulterior motive. That's
kids?
what I'm saying.
But
When there's an ulterior motive.
she definitely, in that ulterior motive, because them girls was little on TV. I think it was television and so Gucci's whole thing, from filing charges to how she ignored her own child to how she treated his daughters. I think it was also that she could get some type of fame and relevancy on Bring It, because on Bring It, Sunjay was like barely a teenager. So the other girls had to be like really, really small. On that
Hmm.
show, also, as much as he loves to tell it, they were living with their mom, and he came in later on the show. He was barely a part of that.
So now I need to understand the guidelines now, because now I feel like they're leaving a lot out. Because from what I'm understanding and hearing is that he had full custody of the girls first, and
Mhm.
then Selena came back later when they were maybe around that time that show came on, and that's when she got full custody. So I don't and see. That's what I say. I don't know what to make of this dynamic because I feel like both parties are not telling the truth. I feel like they're
That
telling the
that's the thing. Humans are gonna tell their side of things, or the side that makes them look like they've not done anything wrong. And like, divorce is messy, especially when there are children involved. We're not gonna know shit from halfway reality TV. But the only thing that is a common denominator on both sides of both stories is that Sophia Shante is a fucking problem. Her kid said it, the other kid said it, we seen her be a problem. The only person who can't admit that she's a problem is her husband. But I don't think, just based on how kids are, if their mom was not there for them like that, as much as he wants to tell them you wouldn't remember, you do remember if your parent was there or not. And they don't have that anger. So if the kids feel like their mom was there, they was there. But also in divorce, people gonna tell their sides of everything. So I don't know. I just want them to stop using it for a storyline at this point. So Gucci, we are tired. Find another fucking storyline if she's back next season. Talk about something outside of his daughters and their mama and your beef with her. You want the fucking spotlight? I think they should give it to her, and let's see how fucking interesting she is, because I'm tired. I don't need to know all these people's business. Like, none of us do.
right, exactly. So basically, I think Carlos asked the question, what would it take for everyone to get on the same page? I think it was Sanjay who said that Gucci has to drop the charges.
Yes. How dare
So
she file them?
right, I said that too. I felt like she was taking it way too far. I felt like that was way too much. Gucci says that no, me and your mom need to have a conversation. And I'm like, for what?
Because she needs her on camera for people to be interested in her. Because we ain't seen her sell a fucking house. We seen one House Hunters episode on a whole nother network, and the houses she showed her were terrible. So listen, what she had. That's why So Gucci said that. I think she's been waiting to say that because you could have been said this to them. Because I'm sure they've said to you off camera prior to the reunion, we don't like that you filed charges on our mom. Now, if the tables was turned and the same thing happened, and they filed charges on her or something, she would be upset. Her daughter would probably be like, that's the only way it's going to be right. So Gucci knows what she's doing. If you cannot care about these girls while you file charges against their mommy, after you called her an extra and started shit when that lady was trying to be polite and cordial with you. So so Gucci, I can't stand her. She's one of those few people on TV who make my skin crawl. Something about her is off.
Yeah, and I just, for me, when she said, "No, I need to have a conversation with your mama," I'm like, "And what are you gonna tell her? Like, what is the resolve going to be? Because what happens if hindsight, you guys talk and she doesn't say what you want to hear? So are you going to keep the charges on because you don't like what she like? It's, to me, that's a confliction on all this stuff. You don't need to speak with her to drop the charges. Drop them because you ended up being okay. It was something that happened on national TV. So there's no point of you going around in circles about this. I think she was doing that to be petty, like Sanjay said. It did come off as petty, and it does, like, to press charges against her. So,
I hope the police see that she was bullshit. Not that Selena, all Selena needs to do is show
he's so stupid.
the police know that she's bullshit. And I hope they turn her around and get her for filing a false fucking police report. You don't start no shit, then fucking cry about it. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't at all, not even in the slightest. So, from there, we end up going to the back, and JJ has a moment with both girls. And it was a very nice scene. You could tell there's a lot more. Like, this whole situation between Sophia Shante Gucci and Selena has caused a big rift. And JJ's side is, I just don't want this to get in the way of our family. Like, how can we, make this better? And them girls talking about co-parenting, and this is where they lost me because, hold on, let me read Joseph Felton's comment. Sanjay probably feels like you called my mom an extra and pressed charges on her. I can't F with you no more because don't mess with my mama. I don't care what she did. I'm going to always take her side. And yeah, that's pretty much where we all are kind of lying with that because I felt like, for me, that should be a given. Like, you should expect her to always side with her mom. And as much as that is, Gucci was the aggressor. So, and then she was there to see it. So it wasn't like she wasn't there. She's hearing it secondhand. She was right there. So it was like, yeah, I kind of feel where Sanjay was coming from. That was petty. It was
I didn't
silly.
watch the whole fight, so I wouldn't fuck with her either. You just respect anybody I love. Fuck you.
Well, see, the problem with us where we come from, Mrs. Best, is that ain't nobody just finna pounce on our mamas and stuff, and we just sit there and watch the fight. I don't know where they do that at because all I know is that my sisters would jump in right in the fight. Like, everybody be fighting in that place. Like Latrice's shop would have got shut down. It ain't open anyway, but we already know what have happened that way.
I wish Sanjay. I always think that to myself and don't say it on live. I wish she would have pounced on So Gucci's bitch ass when that happened because I want to see if she would have filed charges on the daughter and the mom. How would you explain filing charges on his daughter? Because it's easy to get away with it when it's the baby mama because they're not together. But I think the longer So Gucci's on TV, she gives me the type of person that she will expose herself. She's probably gonna fuck around and do something else with somebody. JJ's mama don't like her. She can't get along with the mama. The girl daughters don't like her. The baby mama don't like her. I'm wondering who else doesn't like So Gucci or has a problem with her who they're just not showing. Because I know there's more. She'll expose herself. Give her time. Her dentures will fall.
I'm not doing this with Mrs. Best tonight. I'm not doing this with Mrs. Best, y'all. She be playing with me. Not her dentures gonna fall out. Lord have mercy. But y'all, that was pretty much the episode. Nothing really happened for this to be a three-part. They could really have condensed this into two parts and left us, was wondering. So that was pretty much it, y'all. That's all we're gonna talk about. Um, I didn't even cover Marie's segment because there's no point. Marie says she's retiring next year. Congratulations, happy birthday. That's all I'm gonna say. Other than that, that's all I'm going to do for this Belle Collective Reunion Part 3 recap. I will be back for season 4 on my channel. Watch out my reviews. I don't know when this season 4 is going to premiere, so we'll leave it up to Carlos. I will not be covering Love and Marriage DC. I am not covering Love and Marriage Detroit when that comes back. I may pick up Bold and Beautiful. That's a series that stars Malaysia Pargo and Tamika Raymond, Usher's ex-wife, and some others. So, then Carlos and Akeisha try to make us feel for JJ and Gucci when the whole "you give one parent" comment. Let's talk about that for just 1 second, because Akeisha over there crying, trying to get a moment, really did. I think that's why I didn't talk about it, because y'all know how I feel about Akeisha. I don't like Akeisha. So when she was up there crying, her call, "You only get one parent and all this, and you gotta try to make it right." And I'm just looking at Akeisha like, if you don't sit there and shut up, we all know this.
If you only get one parent, then why the fuck did no one on the cast feel the need to tell Gucci that these girls get one daddy? And you should do everything you can to not interfere with the relationship they have with their dad, even if it means holding your tongue when it comes to their mama. That's what I mean by this cast don't hold each other accountable. They just plan to takedowns and little weird shit on camera. Makes no sense.
Exactly, y'all. That's why she's my best friend. Y'all see? That's exactly what we're talking about. It's the cognitive dissonance of this cast when it comes to what they want to talk about, what they want to be about, who they want to hold accountable, who they want to favor. It is so sickening. It is. It is so sickening. So for Carlos and Akeisha both, y'all need to go sit down somewhere.
And I need Latrice getting a bigger check, because outside of Gucci shenanigans with the family, everything involved Latrice. They couldn't even talk about what's the one, the nasty looking couple, Glenn and, is it Glenn? Is that his name?
Glenn and Letitia.
Yeah, them. They couldn't even talk about their relationship without bringing up Latrice. Listen, give her a bigger check. Give her a bigger check.
I agree. Portia 2.0 definitely deserved her check this season. So we were here for it. But if there's nothing else, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end the live. We still have to do the boring Real Housewives of Potomac and also the boring Real House or Married to Medicine episodes that we had this past Sunday. I don't know what Bravo is doing. I don't know what it is, but we'll see when we come down the road. Because according to Dr. Heavenly, she had a podcast with Carlos King, and she said that the next few episodes are going to be great. So she can't wait for us to see. And we know that there's going to be a fight on Real Housewives of Potomac with Kieran and what's Big Bird's name again? Ashley's friend. I can't think of that baby's name, but
stop calling.
Yeah, there we go. Bird. That's what she looks like. She looks like Big Bird. Anyways, Joseph left nothing. Joseph, there you go. Now you can't always try to downplay kids' relationship with their parents. We just gotta accept that there are some effed up parents out here. Hell, look at how Gypsy Rose mama treated her. Very true. That is a very true comment. We appreciate you, Joseph, for speaking your piece, because absolutely you speaking common sense, and we feel that we do on this channel. But that was all enough to be desired. Once again, I will see you guys on Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm going to do that one first, get that out the way, and then we'll move it on over to Married to Medicine. Thank you guys once again. Shout out to Joseph Felton joining us in my comments. He is here on Belle Collective every week cutting up, and we definitely appreciate it. And we will see you guys hopefully to replace this video. We hope you tune into whatever show picks up this slot, because I will be picking one. And join us on Real Housewives of Potomac in a few minutes. See you soon. Bye-bye.